What's indeed going on, Jerome's? So you may have seen over the last couple of days, basically a story that's been percolating under the surface, but it's gone viral because a lot of people are pointing out that the New Orleans Saints are in potential salary cap Armageddon. Now, of course, we are the pontificators of Herschel Cup is a month, but I mean, you can finesse the salary cap game, but the Saints did it in the completely wrong way. And the Saints are completely in salary cap hell. Nick Wright, go. The Saints are currently $87 million over the next year's cap, which isn't necessarily that big of a deal if you can get out from under it, but just like they did this year, but they can't. It's going to be rough. We'll get into the numbers. This is borderline unprecedented, and only teams who have come close were teams that went all in on Super Bowl with a great team, aging quarterback. The Saints did it with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen as the coach. Now, the Buccaneers did this with Tom Brady, and they brought in Brady. Brought in a bunch of his cronies, and they saddled up the salary cap. And this year, you're seeing the fallout of it, where they're able to get out from under it, even though they do have a significant cap hit this year from Brady. Rolling with Baker Mayfield for a year, and then blah blah blah. But the Saints are down bad, man, and things you hate to see. That so the Saints this year are whatever, they're under the salary cap, but next year with the estimated salary cap of blah 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 blah, but according to over the cap, they're $72.5 million over right now. Now, this isn't that big of a deal because if you look at the Vikings, well, hold on. For the Saints, it's a big deal. For the Vikings and other teams, not that big of a deal. So the Vikings, you actually see. So this year, tight against the cap. Next year, $56 million and change in salary cap space. Now that includes Danielle Hunter's void year number coming to roost of $14.9 million. But also that would be less if he's on the roster. Same thing with Kirk Cousins, $28.5. So again, that's the salary cap number with the expected rise. But that's the cap number with all of that factored in. Of no Danielle Hunter, of no Kirk Cousins, but their void year dead cap hits coming home to roost in 2024. But remember, all right, so take a look at the two salmon-colored, is that salmon? Pink, whatever, two columns over on the right. So that's the dead cap if the player is moved, and then you have the cap relief on the right. So those numbers are important because you look at Harrison Smith, $7.8 million in dead cap if they move on, but they free up 11.3, blah blah blah. So that is important. But then you look at for example, Hawkinson. That's why they can't just cut him because they'd have 24 million dead and 10.2 million dead. Right. Right. So on top of that, so you don't save any cap at all. But it is important that even though you can have a number in the dead money column, as long as you have cap savings, that's fine. But if you look at the Saints are bad. The Saints are in really bad shape because not only do they have contracts with a lot of dead money, they can't move them because if they move them, it incurs more dead cap hits. So Cam Jordan, who's getting up there in age, if they cut Cam Jordan, not only will they have 36 million dead, they'll have another 13 million dead coming home to roost. Same thing with Michael Thomas, 18 and then 8. Lattimore, 31 dead and then 5.6 million dead. And the worst is Derek Carr. So he's got a $52.8 million dead cap hit, but if they cut him, it's 17.1 million more on top of that. So they're stuck. They're stuck and they're potentially screwed. Where we talk about all the time with Rob Thug Life Brzezinski because see, with Rob, he's very good about structuring dead cap hits in the future. And like we said, you can do it smartly because the salary cap continues to go up and up and up with more new TV money, new TV revenue, etc. And it's not like they charge you interest on balance that you put forward into future years. But you can do it smartly. And as we said, the Vikings have been very good about not having big dead cap hits on players who aren't going to be there. That's why they don't tend to restructure guys who aren't going to be part of the long-term future. So again, you can have dead cap in the future, and it actually does make sense to a degree, but you can't keep stacking up dead cap and also guys with aging players with large contracts who would incur larger dead cap hits if you move on for them. That's exactly what the Saints did, and the Saints are the Saints are down really, really bad. Like, they may have a tough time fielding a team next year. They may even have to have the league step in and make a special concession because they F this up so much. Like GM Mickey Loomis, whoever working is in their cap department, it's like they went all in on the tail end of the Drew Brees and stupid-ass Sean Payton era. And also, I mean, it was actually smart of Sean Payton to get the hell out of Dodge, have his retirement year and then get traded to Denver, even though Denver sucks ass right now. But, I mean, they continue to try and do it. And whether it's with Jameis or with Derek Carr, it's a mess, man. It's an absolute mess. And again, things you hate to see. That, I mean, the Saints are one of two teams that are over the cap in 2025. It's just ridiculous, and it does get a little bit better. They may have to weather that storm a little bit, but it's redonkulous. And also, you look at players that you look at the players that the Saints still have on dead cap hits on this year. So, I mean, they're fading $7.6 million on Marcus Davenport. They're fading almost $4 million on Malcolm Jenkins, who retired. It's just mismanagement 101, and it makes me feel good every single time that, whether Spielman is GM or Quase is GM, the Vikings still have Rob Thug Life Brzezinski working the books, because again, the Vikings are in very, very good shape, because you look at cap in 2024, $56 million estimated, and then it goes up to $161 million. Once they get out from under the Kirk Cousins as well as the whatever hits. So not only are the Saints bad right now with Derek Carr, they could be bad for a long time. Like, they could be biblically bad next year, because they may have to field a weak inside. They may go 0-17, and it's a spot where there isn't a clear-cut numero uno guy anymore in 2025, and couldn't happen to a better team. But your thoughts on our thoughts. The Saints are an absolute cap hell. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.